Hi there.
Jane, we are live right now. How are you? Great to have you here.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Where are we touching base from? London?
That's right. Yeah, I live in London, England.
Wow, beautiful. How long
Yeah.
you been there?
I've been here, let's see, I moved here just at the end of 2003. So it's been quite a while now.
Because you're originally from Alberta, Canada. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I was born in Calgary, Alberta.
So how often do
And
you get to go back?
wow, if it's not COVID time, then sort of
Yeah,
once, twice a year. But right, yeah, it's been a while since I've been back, and I can't wait to go back and visit my family, my friends out there. As I'm sure we can all say the same thing right now, can't we?
100%. So how
Mm.
was your COVID? How was your 2020? How did you find it as a working actor?
Well, certainly the on-camera stuff slowed down,
Hmm.
but I have to say I kept quite busy as a voice artist because I have a little home studio. So I was able to just keep working on various projects, even some computer games, and then lots of other sort of smaller voiceover projects. So that really kept me going for a good chunk of time until things sort of started to pick up again. And then when the various lockdowns started to
Yeah.
kind of open up, I managed to squeeze in a little bit of filming here and there. So I think, Dan, I really can't complain because I know that other members in the performing arts especially really had and continued to have a really difficult time. So I count myself as being very lucky.
Oh, 100%. I mean, what in terms of acting? So you got voice acting, you got theater acting for TV, movies. What's the percentages for you? How does it? Is it mostly video games? Is it mostly on screen? Is it a balance?
Yeah, I'd say that it's probably well, it depends on the year, but I think for the most part, it's been more computer games. And then let's say 60% computer games, 40% on camera stuff.
Right.
And maybe I should say 60% voice work because there's other little bits of voice work that
Yeah.
are in the mix as well. And then theater, I haven't really done much theater since I moved to the UK. It used to be a big part of my career in Canada, but
Yeah.
not so much in Britain. So yeah, so it's a mix. And having a mix is a really nice thing because I think back in the day, actors, it was I suppose actors would say, no, no, I'm a theater actor. I only do theater, or I'm a film actor, or, and nobody wanted to admit that they did voiceover.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it just wasn't looked upon as being an art form that required, a heck of a lot of skill, when in fact it actually does. And now I think a lot of people, I mean, you see a lot of film stars in computer games these days
Mm.
because they're beginning to realize that the scope of computer games is absolutely amazing, and there's some great characters, there's some great writing. It's a hugely creative field. So I think for actors today, it's really nice to be able to do everything across the board. Whatever you can get your hands on is great to do because it keeps that sort of creative actor spirit going.
You
And
really
that's
do
really
have
nice.
the dream job, hey?
Yeah. Well, yeah, yes, I do. There's some days where I'm like, oh God, why did I choose this? But no, you're absolutely right. I feel incredibly grateful for all of it. It's a really it's a pleasure to be involved in all of these things and to have fun doing them. Sometimes it's hard work, but it's also a huge amount of fun. So yeah.
Well, you mentioned Hollywood celebrities or actors coming into games, and one comes to mind that you sort of played off. What was your reaction when Keanu was cast in Cyberpunk 2077? Do you
I
go
just
telling people, yeah, we were on screen buddies?
well, I don't, because I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled to be in the same game as him. It's really
Yeah,
exciting. Of course, he's a fellow Canadian, and
yeah.
therefore super nice and wonderful. Um, and by all accounts, he's a great guy. So I'm really thrilled to be in the same game, but I never met him. And that's the nature of computer games. It is actually a sort of a lonely experience unless you're doing motion capture or performance capture. And I'm sure all of your listeners know what that is, but for those who don't, that's when they'll get a group of actors in a studio. They're surrounded by these cameras all the way around, and they're dressed in those fabulous suits with the markers on them, so that they can basically track movements and action in a very natural way. So if you're doing motion capture or performance capture, capture is the same thing, but they're using your voice. So Keanu did performance capture for Cyberpunk. Then you have the experience of working with other actors in a studio. But if you're just doing the voice work, which is what I did for Rogue, um, then it's just me in a studio saying lines. And towards the end of the process, I got to hear what Keanu was doing, and then I could, work off of his stuff. But that's really late in the game. That's when we do what are called pickups. So, oh, we need to rewrite this line. Let's rewrite it, and we'll get Jane back in to record this little chunk. And then, I can maybe hear the other actor who I'm performing with. So, and in those moments when I did get to act with him, it was really fun.
Yeah, it must be.
Um,
Is it weird hearing Keanu in your headphones, and you're
yeah,
responding to him? Is that
it's really
surreal?
weird. It is surreal. It's like, it kind of makes, because he's a rather fabulous guy, and
Yeah.
it sort of sends a little frisson down your spine, if I can say
And
that.
you were a romance option with him as well in the game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Correct. That's right. But that's weird too. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, you're sort of doing a romantic scene to
Oh, it must be
yourself. It's
bizarre.
like, it's really bizarre. It's like doing a romantic scene in the mirror in your bathroom when you're a teenager. It's like something missing here.
I can imagine. JS in the chat says your voice sounds beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank, that's really kind. Thank you.
So you mentioned that a majority of your voice work for Rogue was you weren't able to hear Keanu. So you didn't hear anything. You were just reading the lines off the page. No,
Exactly. Yeah.
really.
So yeah, it's a really interesting process actually. So for the most part in computer games, you get your lines on a sort of spreadsheet, and then you have a director. So you got your sound engineer, you got your director in this sort of engineer's booth, and then you might have the client. So we had also directors from CD Projekt Red who would be patched into the session, and you become as an actor incredibly dependent on your director to fill you in on what's happening, to let you know what's happening. We had a wonderful director, Justin Villiers, who was working with us here in London, and he was phenomenal in terms of the detail that he was able to provide all of us actors with the given circumstances of the scene, and sometimes reading in the other characters' lines so that we knew what was going on. Otherwise, you can start to feel, a little bit lost if you don't have that really crucial information. So that's kind of how the process works. I think they're starting. Some games are starting to change that now, because acting is so much about reacting off of what you're being given. So you say something to me, and I respond to it. I say something back to you, and then you respond to that, and it creates a sort of feedback loop. And if you don't have that feedback, then it's hard to know what you're reacting to. So, some games are starting to take that on board, and they're getting one or two actors into the studio so that they can work off each other. And when you're able to work off each other, that's when some real magic can kind of happen. Unexpected things can happen between characters. So, having said that, we end up with some great stuff anyway, working with the actor and the director, filling in the blanks. And yeah, but it's a very different acting process. You wouldn't have the same process if you were working on the stage or film and TV.
Well, you must have. I mean, you knocked it out of the park as Rogue. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
big standout for me. Have you gotten a lot of love on social media and fan messages or
I have,
yeah?
yeah. Yeah, it's been, that is such a nice part of it. And I have to say, I'm really not very good with social media. So if anybody sent me messages and I haven't responded, I'm not ignoring you. It's just that I sometimes forget to check in. It's really bad. But anyway, I'll try to do better. But I will say, the messages that I have had have been so nice, so lovely. And, it's the same for Hitman, and now Returnal's just come out, and I'm starting to get some lovely feedback for that as well. And I really, really appreciate it. The positive feedback. It's really yeah, it's great to read it. It makes me feel really
So,
happy.
Returnal, you play Selene. Now, I haven't
Mm,
played the game. Forgive me. I've got a code from
yeah,
PlayStation. I'm ready to play. I've just got to
yeah,
find the time. I can't wait.
yeah.
Looks
Oh,
amazing. Is this your first lead character role for a video game?
I'd say so. Yeah. I mean, I think the bigger parts that I've played are really part of an ensemble. Like Hitman is arguably David Bateson is the lead in that as Agent 47, and then there's other characters like Diana, who are part of that ensemble. It's the same with
It's a team,
Cyberpunk.
you and Dave. I think it is pretty much a
Yeah.
team, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And Returnal is that's definitely my first lead character. And it's really Celine's experience throughout the whole thing. And there's input from the lad who plays her son. But largely it's just her kind of going through the psychological um,
Mm.
Groundhog Day, essentially, going back, always back to the same place she keeps returning to,
Mm.
thus the name Returnal. Yeah, so that was a really interesting process to work on to sort of carry all of that. And I think she's a really interesting, super interesting character.
Was that in the booth as well, or was there motion capture involved for that one? Or
No, that was in the booth for me. I did the voice, and then a wonderful artist who I think is now living in LA named Anne Bayer did the facial capture for it. And
ah,
I need to connect with Anne. I spent a lot of time watching her face on
yeah.
the screen in front of me, and she did such a great job with it. And I was just thinking, that's the other thing about computer games is so I'm the voice, and then there's somebody else. Usually they're in LA playing the body. And at some point, these two things merge together to create a character. And the obviously the body and the facial side of it is as important as the voice, but we don't really get to connect.
No.
The connection is made, you know, in kind of, well, I guess you could call it post production, but it's the people who are creating the game are the ones who bring those two elements together. And I was just thinking with Anne, and I believe there's another actress who also did a lot of the physical body stuff. I just thought we need to get the three of us together and have a good old
Yeah.
chat
Yeah, that'd
about
be
playing
great.
Celine. It'd be really interesting to hear their experience too.
There's been
Um,
there's been great reviews for this game. I tell you what, 86
yeah,
on
well,
Metacritic isn't something to sniff about. That's for
yes,
sure.
I think Housemark is a really wonderful game developer. I'm so pleased for them because um, they have worked incredibly hard. Obviously, when you play the game, you'll see how hard they've worked on it. And I just thought they were a wonderful company to work for. And once again, I was telling you we have a director that works with us. So we had the wonderful Damien Goodwin directing Returnal. So he was really there in the studio helping me out. And then we had Greg patched in from Helsinki. Greg is with Housemark, just setting the scene, and wonderful sound designer named Toivo Callio, who was working on that as well. So this wonderful team, helps to elevate and bring this huge game off the page into our lives. And what a game it is! I haven't played it yet, but I've seen a lot online, and my God, it looks great.
So do you play the games you're in, or do you go straight to YouTube and just a cheeky watch the cutscenes or what?
Oh, I do lots of cheeky
Do you?
cutscenes. Look,
Yeah.
like well, they take a lot of time, eh? Like Returnal, somebody wrote to me recently saying, "Oh, I'd love to have a chat with you about Returnal. I've played it for 20 hours now, and he's probably got another good 20 to go."
Yeah.
And that's a full working week.
Yeah.
And so yeah, sometimes I feel like, gosh, I don't know if I have the time to play them, but
Yeah.
I will dip in and have a go.
Because Returnal is a bit notorious for being quite hard, I've heard,
Yeah.
in a lot of
Yes.
reviews. So it's not easy, not an easy
No.
one, that's for sure.
Well, I was thinking that down. I was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. I need to start with like something
Something easier,
simple.
yeah.
Work on my computer game skills because I'm sure I won't even get past the first hurdle.
So your first video game, correct me if I'm wrong, Need for Speed?
Yes, I think it was Need for Speed. Yeah, yeah, way back when I did the tutorial
Dispatch.
for Dispatch. Yeah, I did the let me think. How did I go? I think what I did first maybe it was dispatch operator, like suspect turning left on such and such a road. And
Yeah.
then I think they had me do the tutorial for all of the cars, which was great fun. So I'd say, here's a Porsche 911. It does this, that, and the other thing. And here's a Lamborghini Gallardo, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, yeah, it kind of ignited an interest in sports cars for me, I must say, because there's some fabulous cars out there. And it's kind of great, because in London, it didn't happen this year, I would think, but sort of in the late summertime, if you walk around kind of Knightsbridge area, um, there's people who live in the city who have these cars. They've got all those cars and they'll start driving them around London and you can just go, they're just showing them off. It's like a promenade of,
Oh yeah.
of like very expensive vehicles. And you could just go, oh yeah, there's a Lamborghini, there's the Ferrari, oh there's a nice
You
roller,
know
and
them all now.
no, they don't have Rolls Royces and Need for Speed, but anyway, they're and fun to see. So yeah, that really gave me a good appreciation for those cars, and
So,
that's a fun game too.
so you are you the one now pointing out to your husband, that's that car, that's this car? You're telling him now?
Well, I have to say, my husband is a bit of a car man, so I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think I could ever say, "Oh, look," and he'd never be in a ignorant of any car. I
Oh,
would never know more than he would. But we can now share our appreciation of cars together. So it's been good for my marriage.
and they got you back for a few of those games, didn't they? They obviously
Yeah,
liked you.
yeah, yeah. It was good fun.
You've
Yeah.
done how many Need for Speeds? Three, four, five, maybe?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I'd say three,
Three.
but I don't. Yeah, I think probably three, but I'm guessing. I have to have a look. It was a
Oh,
long time
that's
ago.
when you know you've done a few. So with Hitman,
Yeah.
you were originally in Absolution as a tutorial as well.
Yes, I was. I had a little run there of tutorials. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, you've got the voice. I mean, you must have the voice for it, eh?
I guess
But
so. I could probably do like loads of tutorials for, especially right now in lockdown, I could do like, school sessions for kids or something like that. Um, Maybe that's not as exciting as Hitman tutorials, but yeah. So I started off doing tutorials, use this weapon if you wanted to do this, that, and the other thing. And I guess they just decided that they liked the sound of my voice and they were wanting to you know, bring back the character of Diana and sort of kind of remake her a little bit.
Mm.
And they asked if I would be interested in doing that. And I said absolutely. And here I am. And I just so enjoyed playing Diana. She's just a wonderful and interesting character. And that relationship that she has with Agent 47 is, I find it really fascinating, because there's always that question, isn't there, when you have a man and a woman working together, will they, won't they?
Mm.
What is there that little frisson going? What's going on between these two? And I don't think the writers have ever suggested that there's anything like that. But I think just by virtue of the fact that these two have been working so closely together for such a long period of time, there is a really strong connection between them. And I think it's quite unique. It's obviously there's a deep professional respect between the two of them. Sometimes for my character, there's a kind of caretaking role that goes on for him, a really deep concern for what he's doing, but also willingness to sort of send him out
Well,
into these.
again,
Yeah.
you just knocked it out of the park. We were just playing the scene earlier where you portray
Yeah.
47 in outside the mansion, I think it was, or wherever it was. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just incredible stuff. You have nailed this character. You and Dave, the chemistry, even though I don't think you've ever met in person, have you?
No, we haven't
It's
met
just
in person.
unreal that you have
Yeah.
never met and you've got this. You guys are just such a good team in that game.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been really nice to because we've shared a couple of interviews together
Mm,
now, and it's been really nice to meet David that way and to sort of get to know him a little bit better.
mm.
Um, because it's as I was explaining to you with Cyberpunk, it was the same situation with Hitman. I rarely got to hear his voice when I was working. I'd just be sort of telling him what to do, and
Mm.
not hearing the feedback that, David has with his lines. And anyway, I think, when COVID is a thing of the past and we're more able to travel, I will either go out to Copenhagen or he'll come to London, and we'll meet and just have a good old in person catch up, which would just be really special.
Yeah, I've had him on. He's such a great guy, down to earth,
Yeah.
and he's done that role for how long? 20 years or so. He's
I know that, isn't
unbelievable.
that amazing? Yeah,
Mm.
that is so unique. It's really special. So
But
yeah,
I could see you doing the same when they make another Hitman game. I'd be shocked if you get replaced. It wouldn't
yeah.
happen. It won't happen. You'll be back. You two are just
Well,
too good.
I would love to play her. I mean, I'd be happy to play Diana as a little. Oh, she would have that. Let me see. Can I do her accent? I would be happy to play her as a little old lady telling him what to do. That's fine. I'll play her until the day I die.
Wellington here says it really seems like you've got it all together at the studio. It came out really organic and natural in Cyberpunk as Rogue. Um,
Thank
Wedding Guy says Rogue is a badass character in Cyberpunk
you.
and one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Kai
she is.
Kai here says Returnal is amazing as well. Um, Rena says this lady is gorgeous.
Can you see I'm starting to blush a little bit? I'm getting a little hot. All these compliments.
Oh, and Dan, you're looking good too. Okay, thanks, guys.
That's
Some,
right.
someone, AS here says, did you like the character of Rogue?
Yeah, I did. I think she's a cool lady. She's so tough, eh? And just really just doesn't care what anybody thinks about her, and just calls it like it is.
Oh
And
no, yeah.
I really liked playing Rose. She's a real it's fun to play those tough characters, eh? Like, we don't always get to be like that in real life. Certainly I don't in my life. And it's nice to step into those shoes every now and then, where you get to play somebody who's really, yeah, just,
Doesn't give a shit.
I don't know. Exactly, exactly. And she's so confident too. I love that about her. She's obviously physically, like, really, she's really in her body. She's really certain of her abilities, what she's capable of, and she's kind of fearless. So it's really enjoyable to play a woman like that. I think a lot of those roles, they tend to go to male characters, and I just love seeing gals who can kick ass. I love it. I think it's great. So I really, really enjoy playing her.
Who are some of your inspirations in the video game acting landscape? Women, men. Who are some of your
Oh,
people that you look up to and go, "Wow, they're awesome"?
oh my gosh. God, who can I say that? I
There's
mean,
a
there's
lot.
just so many.
There's so many. Yeah.
There are so many. I really, as I just said, I love women who can kick ass. So, there's like even Wonder Woman, watching those gals fight. I haven't seen the latest Wonder Woman, but it's a kind of guilty pleasure of mine to watch films like that where there's women who can like really like just get into it. I
Yeah.
find that super inspiring. And uh, there's so many great actors and actors out there who have different skills and different abilities that I really enjoy. And I think an actor who can be powerful and strong, but who can also show vulnerability, that's super interesting because it becomes very human, right? Like the most powerful people, they have those moments of uncertainty where they're lacking in confidence, where they're maybe thinking, am I doing the right thing here? Is it okay? And I really enjoy actors who can tussle with the space in between those two things. And of course, I'm completely blanking right now on who
No, it's all good. It's all good.
because you put me on the spot.
Oh, I'm so sorry. If
No, no,
one
no,
comes
it's
to
fine.
mind, you let me know. Um,
Absolutely.
Quazzle Cosplay he says, "What was the biggest difference between young and old Rogue? Do you
Well,
think?"
I think Rogue, as an older character, as an older woman, is jaded. I think she's been burned. She's been a bit heartbroken, certainly. And I think she's just that much tougher. It's like she's settled into this kind of emotional territory where she's doesn't have much hope for sort of romance, for the softer things in life. I think as a younger woman, she was still tough, and she was willing to put herself in all kinds of crazy circumstances. But I think she had just more hope. As sometimes that does happen in life, doesn't it? As we get older, we kind of become more practical about things, and maybe we lose our innocence a little bit. And I think that has happened to Rogue, 10 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you find the dialogue in that game? Because they've got interesting, like they've got their own way of saying things like eddies and chooms and all these different words that
Mm.
are part of this world. How did you find that aspect of it in the writing and the dialogue and that side of it?
I didn't find it a particular challenge. I think you sort of just get used to that kind of thing because it
Mm.
becomes part of the world of the game, and you start to invest in that world, and you become familiar with these things. And yeah, I didn't find it particularly difficult, I'd say.
Now, I'm going all over the place here, but stay with me. A lot of people won't know that you're actually in Dragon Ball Z. Um,
Oh, right.
Back in the
Yeah.
day,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
one of my classic shows. You did a couple of episodes, yeah, with a certain character. Um, was that your first like voice acting
Yeah.
gig or one
Yes, it
off?
was. It was because it was so that's how I got into voice acting actually, was Dragon Ball Z and Ronin Warriors.
Wow.
And that was essentially me just dubbing Japanese cartoons into English
Mm.
essentially. So that's when I lived in Vancouver. So I just graduated from theater school, and there's a lot of great voice stuff going on in Vancouver, and that's how I started my career. I had great fun doing that.
Did you know how big that show was, or like how much of a cult hit it was, or not?
I did not, Dan. I did not.
Because
It's about a time.
that is like that's my childhood. That show, and a
Is
lot of
it?
yeah, that's just an amazing show. Dragon Ball Z. That's that's in the top five of all time for a lot of people, and you're a part of that, Jane. You're a part of that, and
Yay.
you're going. I don't even know what happened. I don't remember anything. Uh,
It was a long time ago. Oh my God.
how long? 20 years?
oh, more than that. More than
Really?
that. Yeah, I'd say 27 or so, maybe. Mm,
And so
yeah.
you just got an audition from your agent, and then bang,
Yeah.
off you go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just like that.
And you would have had
Yeah.
no idea what dubbing was.
Well, I knew what dubbing was. I didn't necessarily know you know, the, I didn't appreciate the cult following of those games. I knew obviously they were popular. Otherwise, we wouldn't be dubbing them
Yeah.
into English. But yeah, for me, it was just kind of my first job, and I was just super excited to be working, and being in a studio was super fun, and a new experience for me because my I went to theater school. I just basically learned how to act for the theater, and I didn't really know anything about voice acting. So it was quite fun to step into this totally different world, and to meet these, Vancouver. I mean, they have such great voice talent there. There's some great
Oh,
actors there, and I would
yeah.
walk into the studio and see these actors who were doing all these amazing cartoons, and I mean, some voice actors are so talented. They can just do so many different accents. They can come up with all these different characters, and I just have so much admiration for them. So I think I really felt inspired, by some of those actors that I met in my early days, and what they were doing, and the amount of creativity that's involved is sort of spectacular, because it's a world full of possibility. You can do anything in a cartoon. You can play any sort of character. You can play whatever, a person, an animal, an object. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, planet. And that's just so fun. And the scope for that is just very exciting.
Is it true with Hitman, the voice of Diana, that you were a bit apprehensive at first with the English accent, or you were
Well,
like,
yeah, that is true. I was, yeah, because I had done the tutorial with my accent, and then they said, "Look, we want you to do this." I was like, "Count me in." And then they said, "But we want you to be English." And I just felt, I don't know, because I'm a North American in England. I sort of thought, gosh, I don't know if I can do that well enough. And in the theater in Canada, I'd worked a lot in an English accent, but I was doing classical theater, so my accent was really,
Very
the sort
posh
of
or
accent,
what?
yeah, yeah, very posh
Mm.
and a more Victorian, Edwardian. Of course, people don't speak that way anymore. So I had to really work on that, and I have a lovely dialect coach. Well, a couple who helped me a lot with this. One is Victoria Woodward, who lives here in London. The other is Edda Sharp, who also lives in the UK, and they helped me a lot with that accent and just being comfortable with it. And now I really enjoy it. It's fun to do.
Well, I think most people would have probably thought you were British. So
Well, yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad. I think when I listen back, I'm like, oh God, there's that word
really,
doesn't. Oh, for sure, yeah. But yeah, I think the general wash of it, is fine. But it's interesting, accents. Like we decided to make Diana a slightly international person to justify those moments when I don't quite get it right, because accents can be quite fluid, and you can really hear sometimes a person's history in their accent. It will shift and change depending on their influences, their education, where they've spent time. So I feel like I'm making excuses now for not having a
no,
perfect accent,
no.
but it does sort of happen that things can shift and change a little bit. So yeah.
Noja says, when did you start recording for Rogue, and how long was that process?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. I think we worked on it for a couple of years, I want to say,
Wow.
before they released the game. Yeah, quite a long
So
time.
you're all through 2019 or 2020 or
Yeah,
both? Yeah.
yeah, both. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Ire says, have you made any impactful changes on Diana's role during the recording processes on the game compared to the script?
Hmm.
That's an interesting one.
That's a really good question. I would say not so much. I think Diana is a pretty consistent character through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, um, because I've played her for such a while now and I know her quite well, sometimes there might be a little piece of writing where I'll think, you know what? I don't think Diana would say that. I mean, she might just choose a different set of words to say what we're trying to say here. So in those cases, we would collaborate with the writer or the director that I'm working with, and just maybe come up with a slightly different way of saying something.
Okay.
But I think really Diana, any sort of progression in her character and her story, the arc of her story, really comes from the writers at IO Interactive, and they are just a fantastic bunch there. And I
Oh,
think they've really taken Diana to such, in Hitman 3, you see where they take her
oh,
to such interesting places.
I want a game with Diana. Hey.
Yeah.
uh, Now, speaking of IO, they're working on a 007 game. Tell me you're going to be in it, Jane.
Oh,
Tell,
I don't know.
because I know you were in one before. You have been in a 007 game
Right.
before.
I
So,
yeah, I played the interestingly named Holly Goodhead in
really?
in
No
mhm,
way.
mhm.
Wow. You wouldn't get a character
Yes,
named that these days.
yeah, of
No
course.
way.
No, you wouldn't.
No way.
Anyway, that's yeah. That's all sort of typical James Bond kind of stuff from
Yeah.
from Fleming days and the olden days when all that stuff was a bit tongue in cheek and totally acceptable.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's in Moonraker and 007 Legends, and yeah, that was quite fun too. I mean, that's another one. So Daniel Craig played James Bond, and I was like, oh, I'm acting with Daniel
Oh,
Craig. Of course,
wow.
I didn't act with Daniel Craig at all,
That's not
but
what you
he.
tell people, Jane.
Oh no, you're right. I should just say it, and everybody
You
would
met
believe
them
it.
all.
And I'm
You
like,
met
oh,
Keanu, met Daniel. You're best
Canon.
buddies with them. You got their
Yeah,
number, hey?
that's right.
So we're going to see you in this 007 game, surely.
I
Tell
really
me,
have no
Jane.
idea. I
Please.
just don't know. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. I
You're
mean,
perfect for it. in some
Well,
capacity.
thank you. Thank you very much. I'd be fun for both. David and I have talked about this. I think we might have mentioned it on another interview, but how fun it would be for us to have cameos. Like I might just
Yeah.
sort of spoke in as the cleaner or something like that. I don't know. But, the barista in the coffee bar. Um,
Well,
yeah, it'd be fun to have a
I
little
was
fun.
pitching to Dave that he should be James Bond.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be fun? Be fun.
uh,
Yeah.
um,
I think yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, what a great company to do that. They're going to smash it out of the ballpark.
well, haven't they done well the last year? Like Hitman 3, huge success, massive
Yeah,
success compared to the last few. And now they're
yeah.
opening up studios in, I think I saw Barcelona and all over the
Mm,
shop, aren't they?
yeah, yeah. They deserve it. They really do.
They're killing it.
Yeah.
Andre says, is there anything you took away from the role as Diana in your personal life?
Um, oh, that's really a good question. I'd like to say her poise and sophistication, but I don't know if that's true. I just want to say that. I think no, I think I'm inspired. Once again, she's a really strong female character. And I really appreciate her intelligence and her integrity and her strength. And
Mm.
I don't know if I've sort of taken those things on in my life. Probably not. But there qualities I really admire. And I think when you play a character like that and you play it for a long period of time, I suppose there is a small sense of osmosis. These things might start to infiltrate how we are in real life. And, maybe in certain moments, I might call upon a little Diana to get things done or to get someone's attention. I might not put on the accent suddenly, but I think that her rhythm, her inner strength is the way she operates in the world is very successful in terms of her getting things done. So there's something to be said for just taking on a little bit of that if I wanted to, get something accomplished or get somebody to do something for me.
Do you ever go to your husband? Can you please do the dishes? In the accent or what?
Good afternoon. Could you please do the dishes? Are you kidding? He would just be like, huh? Might work better with a stranger, but do you know what? I'm going to try it tonight and I'll let you know what happens.
Do your friends and family know like how cool your job is? Do they get it? Do they get the gaming world or not?
Um, I think my stepkids do. My stepsons play computer games. I don't know that they would necessarily, want to play Hitman because they probably don't want me telling them what to do all the time. Fair enough. Um, yes, I don't know. My dad is quite old and not quite old, but he's elderly. And I was
Yeah.
saying to him, Dad, this great game's just been released called Returnal, and I was telling him all about it. And I think I think if he was to play the game, it would do his head in really. So I don't know, but I think I obviously do have a lot of colleagues and friends in the business who have been super supportive and have been sending me lots of you know words of encouragement and congratulations as well. So yeah,
So what does
yeah.
Jane like to do outside of working? What what do you do to
Um,
relax or to?
I have a great big Great Dane, and
Oh, that's a lot
oh,
of
I wish he
work.
was here now. I'd introduce you to all of him, but he's
Uh
downstairs snoring, sleeping.
so
Um,
is mine. I got a golden retriever.
oh, do you? Oh,
Yeah,
lovely. Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't it great to have dogs, especially during this time, or any pets really,
Oh yeah.
uh, during lockdown? So yeah, he keeps me busy. We take him out for a walk every day, and then I tell him all my stories and secrets, and he listens. And sometimes he'll go, "Woof," and give some feedback. So I'm also getting my MA. I'm training to teach acting
Wow.
and coach actors, which is something I've sort of started to do anyway. And I thought it'd be good to learn how to do that, just and get a qualification. So I do work with actors already who are interested in being voice artists and um, give them advice and coaching and help them with their stuff. And I sort of got to the point in my career where I really enjoy the idea of mentoring others and supporting others and helping them with their hopes and dreams. And I think, if you've been doing something for as long as I have, you just want to share your experience with other people and the skills that you've picked up, and maybe steer them away from some of the kind of whatever roadblocks that I have encountered. I don't want them to make the same mistakes, or if they do, I want to help them learn from them. So that's really what I'm spending a lot of time on right now.
But Jane, you wouldn't be a day over 35, would you?
Oh, no, I'm 52. Too and
No,
proud of
you're
it.
not. Stop lying.
I
Come on.
am. I'll show you my passport. I can't. It's not here. But yeah, 52.
Wow.
Or maybe
How do you
51.
do it? You look younger than me.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting. I'm sitting in front of a window, and yes, it's good lighting.
So is
Yeah.
that so you're teaching now? Is that at a school or uni? Is that something you're doing yourself, like through a website, or is that something?
No, I'm getting an MA from a theatre school in London called Central School of Speech and Drama, and then I teach some students at another drama school called the Guildhall. And my God, the students there are so talented. They're so good. So I teach them voiceover technique, and they're just they're wonderful, and I love working with them, and just seeing them grow and evolve. And
It's
voice
amazing.
work is really, yeah, it's really fun work. So it's a great way to spend time as well.
Amazing. I've got to talk to you as well. I'm a big movie buff. You worked with PTA. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you met him, or I'm guessing you did on Phantom Thread. Talk us through that experience.
Oh, that was a really wonderful experience. I mean, you were asking me before about actors that I admire, and of course, I was going to say, well, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh,
It,
yeah,
you know, it, it's almost cliche to say Daniel
yeah. I
Day-Lewis because
know
he's so
it's
good.
too
Who doesn't like him?
too easy.
That's
Yeah,
sort of a given. But yeah, and Paul Thomas Anderson is a really wonderful director. What struck me about him is he's a great auteur, right? His films have his stamp all over them, and of course he does have this amazing creative relationship with Daniel Day-Lewis. But I sort of also felt that he was so open. He's a real sort of boyish kind of character,
yeah.
and a really easy person to talk to. And one of the things I loved about him is instead of saying action, he comes up to you and he says, "Okay, Jane, whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready." And he steps back and sort of goes
Really?
away behind the camera. And so you're just sitting there thinking, okay, well, great. I'll just start whenever I'm ready. And then you do. And it's funny because I was on set recently in Italy, and we were talking about how jarring it can be when the first AD, it's not even the director, but the first AD will say, "and action." And you're kind of like,
Yeah.
it's sort of like,
A jolt.
it is a bit of a jolt sometimes, which sometimes you can use really well in scene, but other times you have to sort of, you hear that, and then you have to kind of get back down to where you were, and then you start, you start the scene. But I really enjoyed that about Paul Thomas Anderson. So a really wonderful, intelligent, um, gentle sort of soul to work with, who's also really, he knows what he wants, and that all makes an actor feel welcome and safe. And of course, I was nervous, because I was acting with Daniel Day Lewis and all these amazing people. Um, and they both just put me right at ease. So that was a real highlight, a real peak moment
So
to work on
you
that.
went and saw that in the theater
I
with the
did.
husband, yeah?
I did. Yeah. Yeah. And my agent came along as well. And that was quite fun. It's, there is, sometimes, when you do a film, they have to cut little bits and pieces, and there was a few things that were cut, and I was just like, oh, what a shame. With
Yeah,
the costume designer, he won an Oscar for that film, and
yeah.
one of the scenes I was in was with a different costume, and I just loved it. It was, made for me and so beautiful, and it got jettisoned. Um,
Uh,
and that's a very
yeah.
common thing in film and
Oh,
TV.
yeah.
But anyway, it was really fun to be a part of. I felt very honored.
Well, I can imagine he would shoot 5 hours, 6 hours worth of footage, or probably even
Yeah,
more.
that's right. Yes,
Yeah,
and as I said, it really is so specific. So we filmed a lot of that stuff twice. A number of weeks went by. I think he just had a look at it. Probably he and Daniel did. I don't know, but they looked at it and they thought, "Is this exactly what we want? No, let's change it a little bit. Let's go back and redo it again, and do it differently." And so it's a real process, and And I think the specificity that's involved in his films is so clear because you feel it when you watch it. It's there's not a false note really, um,
No, very well
and
edited.
very well edited, very well directed, obviously, and the acting is is great. So
Do you miss the theater experience at the moment?
I miss theater. I love theater. I love the immediacy of it. And there's something very nice about telling a story from beginning to end, whereas, of course, you don't have that experience when you're doing computer games and film and TV because it's all shot out of sequence. So it's a lovely thing to sort of step on to this journey, the journey of a play, and you get to just see it through, and then you get to do it night after night. And if it's a good play, there's always new things to discover, and there's always different things to try, and there's the audience there and your fellow performers. And I think there's something about that live experience that is incredibly life affirming. And yeah, I do miss that a lot.
And they're probably suffering at the moment, aren't they? Because of
Oh
COVID.
God,
Yeah.
they
It's
really
a
are.
shame, isn't
They
it?
really are. Yeah, I cannot wait to go back to the theater to support it and to help it get back on its feet again. And I think that, theater will pull through. It always
Oh yeah.
has had other challenges throughout history, and it finds its way, but one doesn't want to see people suffer and have a difficult time. And they really, really have. So.
In Australia here, we've got a bit more of a grasp on COVID now.
Mm,
So Hamilton's coming to Sydney, so I'm going to
mhm.
go and see that. I've got the
Great.
tickets already, so
Yeah,
that'll be amazing. I don't know if you've seen Hamilton, but I mean,
yeah, yeah.
what a movie,
Uh,
what a theatre show, hey?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Syndicate series? Can you talk us through
Oh
that
yeah.
and your involvement in that? That's a new one.
Yeah, that's on right now, actually, here in England. Yeah, so it's a series for the BBC, and the syndicate is it's a story of, well, a syndicate is, it's like a lottery syndicate, so it's a group of people who come together to buy a lottery ticket,
Yeah.
and they'll do it sort of once a week type thing. And so the story of this series is always a group of people win the lottery, and then it causes all kinds of problems and dilemmas in their life. And in this particular one, the winning lottery ticket has been taken from the man who. So they present the lottery ticket to this guy who is working in the sweet shop essentially, and he has it, and he realizes that it's the winning ticket. And he goes, "Oh gosh, you've won £500. Let me just get that out of the till for you, and I'll give it to you." In the meantime, they've actually won millions of pounds. So he, F's off to Monaco, um, with his dog, and they go and they chase him and they find him. And I play a character who runs a doggy daycare and in Monaco, and so she's taking care of his dog, and so I had to have a French accent for that character,
Oh,
and
wow.
I had to act with dogs, and that was really great fun.
Oh, you're good. Can you do an Australian accent?
Oh, Dan.
No one can ever do it. Everyone asks. They're so scared of it. Is it that
Okay,
hard?
I don't think so, mate. No, no, I can't do
There you
it. That's
go. You've got it. You've got it.
I
You've
don't.
got it.
I sounded cockney there.
No, that was
No,
pretty good.
no,
That was
sorry.
pretty good.
I will not continue in that vein until I've worked on it because I don't want to insult you.
Wedding guy here says you look 30 on cam, touching on what we were saying earlier. So there you go.
Well, look, I think, oh, look, there's some gray hair there. So proof positive that
Hey,
I'm,
I've got
you
grays too. Don't worry.
know.
A couple more because I know you're a very busy lady. We really appreciate your time though, Jane, today. Any advice for aspiring actors that you can give today? Just some small little bit of advice that you could give.
Yeah, I feel so much that if you have this desire to be a creative artist in your life, I I always feel hard pressed to encourage people to do that, to go for it. And I've sort of touched on this in other interviews. I think it's important to keep your eyes open because it's a can be a difficult path sometimes, but great things are worth working hard for. And um, I just say go for it. Go for it. Keep your eyes open and always bring yourself to your work, invest in yourself in your work, and find alongside that ways to really believe in who you are, develop your self confidence, because that's also important too. And keep your eyes open for the things that inspire you, actors that inspire you, directors. Look at what they're doing, see how they're doing it, and see if you can, do the same thing yourself. And it's always a great idea to get training too, especially if you want to, be in the theater or in computer games or whatever. You have to use your whole being. You obviously be using your voice a lot if you do cartoons and computer games, and that work can be really hard. It can be really hard on your vocal apparatus. So it's good to know the technical side of stuff as well.
And
But I would just say go for it.
and you've got a home studio. What are the key elements for a successful home studio, in your opinion?
Yes, so you first thing you need to do is treat the room. So make sure that it's acoustically treated, so you can't hear outside noise. And then you need to create a little environment where there's not too much bounce of sound.
Mm.
If you've got a laptop computer, then you can get yourself a decent microphone and a little preamp. It's really all quite affordable these days, and it's not that difficult to create that sort of scenario. A lot of people will have their little sound studio in their wardrobe because there's a lot of, sort of clothing around
Yeah.
soft furniture, yeah, to absorb the sound. So there's loads. I learned a lot on YouTube actually when it came time to setting up my home studio. So there's a lot of information out there. So it's really possible to be a voice artist from your home
Do you do a
for
lot of
sure.
work out of um, your office, or is it a lot of auditions?
I have a wonderful voice agent who tends to get me auditions, and then sometimes I'll just get cast off the strength of my demo reel or maybe another job that I've done.
Yeah.
So here in London, my agent is called Soho Voices, and they'll just give me a call and say, "Look, you've been shortlisted for such and such a thing. Can you do it in your home studio? Are you free on these dates?" And that's kind of how it happens. Or maybe the client wants to just be absolutely certain that my voice is right for their product. Or if it's a computer game, right for the character. So I'll do a little audition for that. So it's a bit of both, really.
Like Returnal, was that audition, or did they call you up? Because I feel like they would call you up for that game.
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you remember?
I think I auditioned for it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
Wow.
did. Yeah, and Rogue as well, I auditioned for. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, pretty
Unreal.
sure.
Isn't
Hmm.
it crazy that three massive games that you're in, Returnal, Cyberpunk, Hitman, all out within 6 months?
Yeah,
Just
that's
a
kind of weird.
whirlwind.
Yeah, it's funny timing. Yeah, that struck me as well. I think that was a really a sort of gift also because of what we're going through right now, and it was this huge surge of sort of positivity
Mm.
to have these things being released at the same time, and I felt, as I said before, I was so grateful to be working on all of them.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, the timing is really lovely. Yeah.
so any upcoming projects that you can talk about, or you're all NDA'd on everything, as per usual?
Yeah, there's another game upcoming. I don't know when it will be released, and unfortunately, yes, I cannot talk about it. But
Ooh,
we'll have to have another date in the future, Dan.
yes, yes, 100%. Is this a big game or what? Am I going to be excited or
I think it is. I don't know that much about it. I don't know what it's called. I don't actually
really?
know.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. It's so
because
funny.
yeah,
Oh,
when they start a game, that it will have a project name, a sort of code name, because
mm.
obviously developers are incredibly secretive about what they're working on, and they keep all of this information very very close. So you know your character's name, but you don't necessarily know the name of the game until much later on in the process.
And you don't even
Um,
know. You wouldn't even get the script of the game either, would you? You just get your
yeah,
lines.
that's right.
It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's a
exactly. It is
crazy
crazy.
industry.
It's really weird.
And you put on these amazing performances. So there you go. Kudos to you,
Yeah, it
hey?
all comes together in the end. But as I said, it's with thanks to the great directors that we get to work with, and the developers themselves. Obviously, they know the story, so they'll come in and say, okay, this is what's happening here. But yeah, we don't know the whole picture until the game sort of comes out, really.
Isn't it crazy? Oh,
Mm.
well, amazing. Well, thank you for coming on the show. I hope you enjoyed yourself, Jane.
I did. It was a real pleasure to talk to you and also to hear the wonderful feedback from people who joined in today. Thank you so much. And
Oh,
thank you for your questions. I hope
ev-
I answered them well enough.
everything is positive, so that's a testament to you, guys. You can follow Jane on Twitter and Instagram. Jane Liz Perry, is that right, Jane?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
On both? If you
Uh,
just type in Jane Perry, I think it should come up. Or you go to my Twitter or the description of this video, you should be able to uh, see that. Oh, I've lost you, Jane.
oh, yeah.
You
On
there?
Instagram.
Yep.
Oh, yes. All right. Can you hear me? I
Yep.
lost you too. I'm here. Jane.elizabeth.perry on Instagram.
Beautiful. Amazing. And look out for her in many more incredible games to come. Jane, before I let you go, is there anything Diana can say to Dan?
To you to Dan, did you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, to me.
Oh, Dan. Good afternoon, Dan. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Um, for the rest of the afternoon, you should take good care of yourself. Make yourself a sandwich. Make sure you don't put too much butter on it and eat it and enjoy every last bit.
Oh, wow.
Dan.
I'm
I
going to have to enjoy that sandwich now. Shit.
don't know where that came from.
Oh, I don't know how you did that.
I'm not at my creative best right now, but
Oh, I loved it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jane. I'll hopefully we can do this again at a later date.
lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank
All the
you.
best.
You
Take good
too.
care.
Take care.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.
There you have it, guys. The amazing Jane Perry. I hope you enjoyed it. Who have we got in here? What lovely people do we have in here while I get some music up? Put a bit of Cyberpunk soundtrack on, hey? A bit of chipping in. It's a bit loud.